looking? It's Sarah Granahan here and
Janee Paige.
Doing a live. Like I had promised earlier this week, I wanted to do a live. Janee and I were talking about doing a live just about like the recent solar storms and like the symptoms that her and I have been noticing that the collective's been having, whether it's clients, friends, family, ourselves even going through some stuff. Have you noticed that, Janee?
Yes, the energy's been really heavy, more so around the heart chakra, releasing past life things coming up, just kind of like healing through it. But in addition to that, this full moon that just passed.
What a beautiful full moon, too.
It was a beautiful full moon. The energy was heavy, though. At least for me, it was. And a couple of people that I've spoke with. Not necessarily heavy in a bad way, just really shifty.
Oh, shifty.
Just really shifty compared to the past full moon, the past couple months full moons. For me.
Yeah. So our full moons, I think we've talked about this before. Full moons are always like that chance to manifest things. So using that moonlight, that energy from the full moon, even a couple days after to manifest. A lot of people put their stones outside to clear them.
Yes, definitely. I definitely do that.
You do? Yeah. They make moon water. I did that this week. But what are some other things you can do with the energy from the full moons?
Releasing. So I tell my clients a lot of times, especially those that have been following me for a while, make a list of all the things that you want to release during this time and then burn it. So full moons are a perfect time to do a burn ritual, as they call it. That's something that I love to do, and that also helps me pass through like heavy energy if the full moon is ever heavy.
Oh, wow.
Because it's another way to like release.
Yeah. And I know I was reading that this particular one this week is all around like rebirth. So that's a big one. I mean, because sometimes when we're going through rebirth symptoms or phases in our lives, it can mean like endings or feelings of like things really coming to a halt, or we're physically feeling symptoms that are just like really clearing out of the body, kind of harder on the physical body too. So you might be feeling sick. You might be feeling, you said you felt releasing more so in the heart chakra. Were you noticing that a lot of other people were reporting this week releasing in that area as well?
Yes, I got a lot of heart chakra, root chakra, very much around stability. And that also could tie into, I was thinking, with the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Just, balancing out different things. And I know some people have different stresses than other or things that they worry about. So working through those emotions during the holidays can be very intense as well.
Yeah, and we were just coming off of Thanksgiving too, where people are spending time with their family, their friends.
Yep.
Getting into the holiday season. I know I was. That's very good. And then how many days, is there a specific amount of days, or how, like this recent full moon, like can you kind of feel the energy or work with it?
So some people felt it before. Like I had a friend who said she felt it more so before the full moon, like a few days. I more so felt it after. So I would say like 2 to 3 days after the full moon.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just now starting to get that clearing to where I'm feeling, like you said, that rebirth. Like I'm absolutely engulfed in that now. But it was a lot of heavy energy though. But again, it's all in how you interpret it and what you have going on. I know for me, the holidays are always emotional after losing my mom. So it's like, if I go through any extra emotions during that time, it's like super heavy for me.
Yeah.
And I say for me like that because I know everybody deals with it differently. So it's not, I feel like Spirit is kind of telling me, to specify that so people aren't adopting things that they aren't really feeling just because we're saying it. And they may have felt heavy energy. Your heavy energy could have been because of something else.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. So kind of like it's felt in the collective, but it's all kind of relative based on people's experiences, where they're at and where they need to be. But I know that a lot of people probably could relate with how you're feeling, with losing family members or close friends, and then holiday times, just kind of bringing that back up too. So for the rebirthing too, this week is a great way to, just kind of like figure out where is it that you want to go. And even if you don't have the answers to that, that's totally okay. Just coming up with some of the details around that, whether it's like, I want to, reinvent how I show up with my career. I want to figure out what it is my next steps are that really awakens my heart, like really gets me excited with how I want to show up in humanity and the roles that I want to play, right? So this is a great energy and a great time for that. And even if you don't have all the answers now, know that just setting those intentions and working with that energy will help kind of deliver a lot of that. And you'll start getting, it's like a breadcrumb trail. You start getting little bits of synchronicity or signs, and pay attention to it all. A lot of times spirit speaks through people and strangers you don't even know. So not just family and friends, not just, other trusted professionals, but it'll be somebody you might meet at the store, somebody you might meet on the street, just has a message for you, and it just clicks. It just feels like it's the right thing. So definitely paying attention to that on your journey too, as we're going through this rebirth, reawakening kind of time period, as we're ending the beautiful energy of 2023. And I know a lot of people are excited for 2024 of what's coming. I think there's going to be a lot of great stuff. Now, we also had a solar storm around the portal. We had a lot of light coming in the planet November 11th, that amazing date. It was all 11s, all ones. If you're a huge 11 person like we are, oh my gosh, that was a really special day. But there was so much. That's about around the time I got glitched out, like I was saying. I just kind of stopped working and paused. But it was my time to do that. And I'm not sure if anybody else was experiencing symptoms from that, or big physical symptoms that they were noticing. Janee, were you experiencing anything during that time period, that portal energy?
Not as, I wouldn't say not as heavy as some of the things that you experienced, but I did feel some differences, just really that I needed to like kind of redo some things, or like just straighten some things out, if that makes sense, but not that heavy. I think my heaviness kind of came in towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
With like, and it could have been a combination of 11/11 and the full moon, just interpreting all of those emotions and downloads, and then the holiday and just different things. It was super, super overwhelming for me, which was actually something new for me.
Oh, okay.
Typically the energy comes in a little... I'm kind of more so prepared. This, what was it? The Gemini full moon? That definitely kind of threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop. It really did. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's the twins too. So Gemini is always the twins.
Yeah.
So it could be that you thought one way and then it went another way, right?
Exactly. But it was really, 11/11 I think was really good. It was definitely a good time of like manifestation for me, and just kind of more so relaxing. But I think November had so much going on that if we weren't careful, it was overwhelming. Because regardless, you still have to go to work. You still have to take care of yourself. You still have things that you have to do. So with all these energies coming in, for some, it was just a lot. And I think that's the best way I can explain it. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Well, and it's felt in different ways by different people too, right? And depending on your experience, like where you're at, what you're needing to go through, what you're needing to release. So the intense light that's coming through during that time period I was reading is on purpose for a reason, just to help break apart old patterns, old cycles, really clearing out some of the stuff that might be buried that we're not noticing, that we're still bringing around or have blockages around, whether that's in business structures, in systems, in groups that we're in, or if it's individually experienced. So I was feeling some individually experienced intense symptoms. I had gotten back from my awesome road trip to get crystals. I think it was the 9th of November. The 10th of November, my stuff started. And I was having just equilibrium shifts going on, and a little bit of dizziness. Well, actually, a lot of bit of dizziness on the 10th. And then it continued for about a week of that. I felt like I was walking on a boat at sea, like a charter boat. I mean, I do get seasick, so on smaller boats, I noticed with myself when I went to Hawaii this year. So, but I didn't like that feeling, because then I really had trouble kind of getting going and getting things going. And I was hearing that if I could ground a little bit better, but it was really hard for me to do in the moment, even as a practitioner, even as someone that shows up for other people. So I was really leaning on Janee and like other people in the field just to kind of look into it, just to help send some energy to me, to help support me. And I think during my release, that's what I needed, is I just needed other people to show up for me, and just really kind of be in my fields of what I was clearing and going through, so that I could reshift and kind of reawaken anew. So, but a lot of the symptoms I got really curious about, and I remember talking to you on the phone, because I was like, what is going on right now? Because usually a lot of times I'll look to the cosmic weather. When I'm starting to feel stuff and you're sensitive, you feel stuff, I start checking in, asking people I know, practitioners at the shop, friends of the shop, hey, are you experiencing this? Is this just like a pattern? Because I'm a big pattern person. I'm sure you are, you know. And so it's like, it may not just be me, right? So it's helpful to kind of learn then what's going on. And often, each time, I'll learn about some other cosmic weather or some other event that's going on that I'm actually picking up on and feeling.
Right.
And I'm not the only one doing that, though. Like, I know that out there in humanity, out there in our society, others are probably picking up on that too and feeling different shifts and things. So this information is really helpful, because if you're feeling like, oh gosh, I'm sick now, or oh, I feel off, I don't know what's wrong, we always just assume there's something wrong, but actually it could be our body speaking to us. And that's what the amazing work we do with energy and messages is. We really help to uncover that. It's like, if there is something emotional, mental, or spiritual also going on causing physical symptoms, we can kind of help uncover that a little bit with, of course, you going to your, practitioner that you use, your family practice, your doctor. But a lot of times it's not just the physical symptoms that need to be treated. It's also kind of some energetic things that might be going on, or mindset things that need to be cleared, or things just coming up all of a sudden. And just like the world's an evolution, we are each our own evolution.
Exactly.
So we're not just supposed to stay in a box the rest of our lives. And if you try to, you're still going to get pushed and kicked at times and feel the symptoms too. So it's really actually helpful to look at some of these things and kind of connect the dots in different ways. And that's what we really like to do. Oh, hey Shantae, how are you? Thanks for joining in. I know you get all this stuff that we're talking about too, so please feel free to chime in. So we really can, to kind of fine tune and put the pieces together instead of kind of sitting back and being a little bit more, I guess, clueless or I was afraid of how I was feeling. I was kind of like, whoa, what is going on? My mind starts going on different avenues, checking into different things. So that's when it's nice to have someone else come and say, this is what's, coming up for me, for you, or this is the energy that might need to be cleared. And this is really helpful, because especially with these ascension symptoms that the planet is dealing with right now, they are going to be around emotions coming up. You mentioned the past life energies that's clearing and coming up. What are some of those emotions you've been hearing about or sensing for the collective that's coming up to be cleared?
So some of the emotions, one thing is, a lot of times what we're thinking is the issue. It's like you have to sometimes go back and look and say, okay, what's the root of the issue? I actually had someone say that to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. What is the root of the issue that you're really feeling? Because a lot of times it might be just what's surface level. And so depending on what that is for you, it can be something from your childhood. So inner child healing has been coming up. Like Sarah said, the past life stuff. So as far as emotions, I would say I've heard every emotion. Anger, confusion, lack of not having certain things, or, just certain experiences that people went through in a past life. It's so many different things. I have so many different ones popping up in my head. It's just hard to literally come through and say which ones. But it's literally almost every emotion, but most of them are coming up in a negative way when they're hitting the surface. Even though it's not necessarily negative the way it's showing up, it's being interpreted as negative because of the way it's making us feel in our heart chakras, in our root chakras.
That's like a trigger. So
exactly.
So something from current events, right? Or sometimes sensitive people will pick up on things that they don't have a pulse on where it's coming from at all. They just wake up with a feeling. Like they went to bed happy, they wake up, they're feeling sad, they're feeling angry when they wake up. So if it's not from a dream or some other situation, it could be that you're taking on the energy in your environment, from your place at work, from going to the grocery store, getting groceries. Somebody was really upset around you. You didn't have interaction with them, but you're picking up on how they're feeling. But also, if it's a trigger, so what you'll notice is that a cycle or a pattern, if you can figure out your patterns and your triggers. So you notice that over time, whenever you're in a certain situation and someone does this thing, or this thing seems to set you off, that's one of your triggers. And
Right.
everybody has, we have an array of all that for each person, because we're all unique people with different life experiences. So, but what happens is those triggers can go deeper than just what's happening in this lifetime. It definitely can be that we're carrying things with us that we have had trauma before in other lifetimes, not just trauma in this lifetime. But even if you can pick up on a couple of your own triggers, that is very deep healing work. And if you can find the support systems, to talk therapy, energy workers, different practitioners out there to help support you working through those triggers, it's amazing for you. It helps free you. You feel lighter.
Exactly.
You don't
a lot
feel-
lighter.
Though when those emotions hit you, or somebody's acting a messy, in your life, or something's happening, often it won't trigger you the same way. You'll just kind of just ignore it. You'll pass by it. You'll continue with your life. It won't catch you and draw you in, and then have you do that push and pull energetically, because that's what the triggers do when you're getting caught in those cycles.
Right.
And it's hard then to move forward into that, maybe that new evolution, that rebirth that you want to use, that manifestation, because you're getting caught in these like webs that all of a sudden are just being thrown your way. And the universe, the world is for you. So life is for you. It's not against you, but it's just showing you that there might be some things that you need to look deeper in, right?
And work through.
Yes.
And I think that's the key point too, is sometimes when you have that uncomfortable feeling, it's like it's normal to sit in it or ignore it. But really it's showing up for you to work through it. So like Sarah said, like therapy, I keep getting a glare on my glasses, but like therapy, or, going to speak with someone, different things like that are really beneficial during this time. One of the other things that I noticed is a trend is asking for help.
It's
a lot
It's
of
so
people
hard
need to,
sometimes.
like, your lesson could literally be just asking for help.
That's one of my lessons.
I had that too. Yeah, you're not alone.
Okay.
I've definitely had that too, but it helps so much. And even if it's just me getting a session from Sarah or a few other practitioners that I know, like sometimes Spirit's like, you don't have to do it all your own. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you're supposed to go through that by yourself. Like that's one of the major things, like everybody, and I'm not going to say everybody, but it's common to think like, oh, the practitioners can do it on their own. But really, we seek help too.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have practitioners too. I mean, I think it's a common trend. Like I want to lay on the table too.
Yeah. Support needs support.
Exactly.
So if you're not getting support and you're supporting, that equals burnout a lot of times. So make sure that if you are somebody that's a community helper, showing up for others, around people, whether it's your teacher, counselor, nurse, doctor, in the medical field, not in the medical field, a hairstylist, like people, my good friend Trisha in Denver, oh my gosh, I've known her for years. She's like, do you know how many people tell you all their stuff while you're cutting their hair? And it makes sense. I do the same thing when someone's doing my hair. I tell them about my day, how I'm feeling, what's going on. So, but if that's happening, you're absorbing possibly a lot of all those other people's things, and then you've got your own plate of stuff that life has for you to look at and deal with, right? So everybody needs this type of support. Everybody needs a supporter or some way to decompress from their days, to clear their space out, because otherwise our plates end up becoming these Thanksgiving plates that grow into triple Thanksgiving plates that just then feel too much, and that's when burnout can happen.
Absolutely. So definitely, in a nutshell, pay attention to your bodies. Like pay attention to how you feel. You don't have to walk around with a heavy heart. Like, and don't feel like you have to. And I feel like that's a specific message, but you really don't have to walk around with a heavy heart.
Yeah, no, that's really true. And get curious when your body's trying to speak to you, because it can't speak English, obviously, to you, but it does it through symptoms, through pains, through different sensations, through emotions. Pay attention. That's your breadcrumb trail. And if you need a guide on that trail, reach out again for support. Reach out, ask questions. Have a session. Find out how do you feel. I know a lot of people will come in and say they're not in tune with their emotions. I'm a very emotional person, so I don't even know what kind of life that is right now.
No, seriously.
But it's okay. There's a lot of people out there that life is very distracting. It's very busy. And if we aren't making the time to just try to tune in or deal with them, or we're passing the emotions by, which I can do too if I'm busy, it still doesn't just go away. it sits there on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can come up as triggers or different things in the future dealing with people,
Right.
situations, or that, like you said, walking around with a heavy heart and you're not sure why.
Mm-hmm.
So these ascension symptoms with these solar storms that we're experiencing, the skies, the sun, moon, and stars have been so beautiful lately. Oh my gosh. Janee, you want to talk on that picture you shared? Would you love to share that with everybody?
Yes. So I'll have to post it after we get off of here, but there was a picture and you can literally see the I wish I can show it. Do you think it'll show up if I pull it up?
You could try, yeah.
I'm gonna see.
Yeah. So while she's talking about that, I took a few pictures of the moon this week, and I challenged people on the live I did with the lamps that I had, the gemstone lamps, to go out and take a picture of the moon, because the crosses, the orbs, and just the different energies that I could notice. And I've taken pictures of the full moons before, but it was very different this time. And I also noticed the sun has been feeling more amplified too. And I had just seen some sundogs last weekend, 2 in a row. Very, again, crosses in the sun, very amplified. The energy is just beautiful. It's like look up and just, absorb the energy, pay attention to what's in the skies. Did you find it, Janee?
I did. Okay. Hopefully this works. Oh, you can't really see it.
Yeah. Well,
so I'll have to post it, but it was basically like a meteor shower. Now, I know people see those all the time, but I've never seen one. I've never seen one ever. But I looked into it, and apparently it happens, this time of year.
Oh, wow.
It's something common, around the, I guess, December time frame.
Uh-huh.
This happened the other day, and hi, Candace. And matter of fact, Candace is the one that told me, to look at the root of everything. When I was talking about that earlier, like sometimes there's an issue that is, a little overbearing. But to focus in on the root. But okay.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, and Catherine, hi there. Thanks for joining.
But yeah, so sorry, I got off topic a little bit. But the meteor showers, apparently it's that time of year for it. It's something that is common right now, which I had no clue. So I'm not too sure on the history of that and, all that jazz. I know the solar storms have been hitting a lot lately as well.
Yes. And there's one also that's going to be coming up the beginning of 2024, actually like January 1st. So that is kind of where the time period I was really kind of feeling off myself, and I was out for a whole week. So a lot of times you're going to experience, and that massive light coming through is going to help break up old programming, clear blockages. It's there to like change systems around. But some of us that are sensitive, and even if you're not, there might be people noticing that you're getting more headaches, dizzy spells, vertigo. Ringing in your ears was really common. I heard a lot of practitioners and people I was talking to the week I was having issues at saying, "Aren't you hearing the ringing in your ears?" And I'm like, I am not, but I'm having symptoms.
I did hear some ringing in my ears, which typically I don't hear ringing in my ears. I typically just, get the message or, whatever. But like you said, the dizziness and also the emotions like the anger,
will be
depression.
Heightened. It might be heightened and amplified during that. And it's just to kind of say that it's there, to kind of push you a little bit further into looking into what's on your plate still that you didn't know was there, if you're not somebody routinely also doing self-care. But even if you are, these things are going to come up on a deeper level, then another layer to look at. So not to be scary, but just to say hello, and then we can sense it, see what we need to take lessons or learning from it, and then say goodbye to it. So we can kind of get that equilibrium rebalanced, get grounded, get rebalanced, and check into what we maybe didn't know before was still sitting there. We're walking around with a bag of stuff, right? All the time. So is there anything else you want to add to that? Because I know you're going to do some special little thing for us.
Oh yes, I'm going to pull a little cards or a few cards. I don't have anything to add about that, but I will go ahead and pull some cards and see what we have for the collective today on December 1st. And they're just like falling out.
Oh, wow. December 1st, too. That's right. It's just the first of the month, the last month of 2023. 1st.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. This is by John Holland. Great. And also the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. Ooh. So we can post that in the description too if anybody has any interest in those decks.
Oh, and I see Candace is saying she also has been experiencing some headaches and some head things. So I was even getting some today too. Is that today that you're noticing too? Because I felt like the week had been kind of fine, and then all of a sudden today now again I'm feeling kind of a little bit in the head in different areas. And I'm not somebody that tends to get anything like that myself. I'm not sure if you do usually. But again, unique. Yeah, right now, today too, because I woke up with that too. Janee and I was like, Janee, let's do this live. And then I was like, I'm dragging, but I'm here, right? So I'm here for it all.
Try getting some fresh air, Candace. That's what I keep hearing, because I was dragging a little bit. I was dragging a little bit this morning. And what really helped me was going out on my front porch and just like breathing in that fresh air. It felt really good. I even went for a walk this morning, which I try to do every morning, honestly. But that just really helped me like ground and like connecting. I know we were talking about that yesterday, like grounding. At least for me, grounding is mandatory. But just to jump into the messages, basically, starting off with trusting your intuition. Okay. A lot of you are in a very new phase of your lives. And it's looking very cloudy right now for some, but don't let it be. Make a plan. Okay. That new error that you just that previous error that you just went through, as far as like, I'm seeing like late spring into early fall. Don't let it get the best of you. It's over now. Like, we're going into a new season. I feel like the rest of Sagittarius season going into Capricorn season is going to be very disciplined for you. So this planning is going to be necessary, but don't overthink it. You're headed to your material harvest. So whatever it is that you're manifesting, please know that it's definitely something that is in your divine plan. So don't overthink it. I mean, there might be like road bumps, not road bumps. What is it called? Speed bumps around your way, but that just means slow down. Like, speed bumps aren't a stop sign. So just keep that in mind. Nothing is really stopping you. And I feel like even if somebody is like coming at you or giving you like a hard time about something, everything's already worked out. So don't let it stress you out. I feel like that could be a message for all of us, honestly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But when it comes to your material harvest, manifest. Okay. It says look for fairies. So that means like look for the magic in everything. Look for, expect miracles. Don't look for things to not work out because it's already written that they will work out. So just allow it to work out. Get you a sweet treat. Okay. This season of your life is all about pleasure. And I know this card is like, looks more like a sexual card, but it's pleasure in every way, like including baking, eating cookies, having a snack. It's the holidays. Really allow yourself to, open up to that. The disruption that you keep feeling, they had me put that over your material harvest. So if you keep looking back at the disruption that you're feeling, then it will happen. But if not, they're putting it over here like literally they have me turning it over like it's done. So the movement and choices that you made worked out. Okay. So everything is literally going to be okay. Use your throat chakra. Speak up for yourself. Don't allow people to overpower you, especially when they're wrong. Everything is in harmony. Good harmony. Everything's going to work out. Beautiful. So don't stress. I feel like it's a lot of stress. Live in your power. And this is where we end. And this is an 8 card. Everybody knows 8 is abundance. So keep that in mind. Like, you're meant to be powerful. You're meant to be successful. You're meant for everything to work out. So don't allow things to, the speed bumps or roadblocks or whatever. Even a roadblock is not necessarily taking you too far off of your path. They might just be working on the road. So allow that to clear, work through it, and continue where you're supposed to go. Everything's already worked out in your favor. So just trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Trust your intuition.
I received all of that. I hope everybody who watches this does. I could feel my heart chakra open and just take all that in. So thank you, Janee.
You're welcome.
What a beautiful message for the collective right now. And so on point based on what we're talking about, what everyone's going through, ending the year, tying that up. Do you do some of these
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you do these often? Like for
I
people?
do. I've actually started a YouTube channel.
Oh, yay.
I know in my bio on Instagram, you can click the link and you can access my YouTube channel. So I will have collective readings on there.
Following.
I do also offer collective readings, individual readings as well on my booking site.
Ooh, great. I love it. I mean, oh my goodness, but I could feel all that. I could just feel when you're doing it too, and I could just feel receiving. So
I felt like it was for me too. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, that's the collective. That's the group energy, right? When we do messages, so
exactly.
That's the group messages, and it's individual, but it's also for everybody.
Right,
else. So,
right.
Well, beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining in, and anyone else checking this out later. It still applies, everything, and enjoy your holidays, and maybe we'll pop on some other time.
Yeah, we'll do this again soon.
So, all right.
All right.
Enjoy your Friday. Is it Friday, right?
It is Friday.
Oh, have a great weekend,
Friday.
everybody. So,
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.